It's realize who you are, what your story is, what your voice is, what your strengths are. I am not a businessman. That is my weakness. I am a TV guy. That is my business, but I'm not a businessman. Having clarity in your mission and your why. If you're in business right now and you don't have clarity in your mission, start rethinking things.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Epiphany Off the Cuff. My name is Rick Meekins. I'm going to be your host, and I'm joined as always by Xizzle. Hey, good. Xizzle, how are you today?
Good, Rick. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm actually intimidated because we've got this long-time TV guy with us, Kirk Gimenez. How are you, sir?
Rick, Xizzle, thank you so much for having me. As I like to joke around, pleasure's all yours to have me on your podcast. So this is amazing for you. So happy for you too right now.
So true. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. We certainly appreciate it. We're looking forward to getting into it. Kirk, do our audience a favor.
And thank you.
Give us an introduction. Tell us about, who you are and, what you're doing right now. And, and let's get into the show.
Aside from being a beach bum, because that's who I am in my heart, I'm a Venezuelan immigrant. I was the very first Latino in the history of ESPN to be hired by ESPN to anchor in English way back in 2003. One experience has led me to another. And after a long time on TV, I decided to launch my own smart TV network called Xizzle TV. And I know it's crazy, but I make TV for Latinos and minorities in English. So I like to represent and be a 200%er. I'm 100% Latino, 100% American. And I make positive, uplifting, motivational, lifestyle, entertainment television on my network called Xizzle TV with an X. That's with an X. And it's free on Roku, Amazon Fire TV.
Awesome. So you made the leap from ESPN into doing your own thing. What gave you, I don't know, the guts to make that leap? I mean, that's big.
Well, it was just the realization that representation really does matter, and if you're going to do it right, it takes someone who really represents a community wholeheartedly and embodies that wholeheartedly. And I'm a straight up immigrant from Barquisimeto, Venezuela, and I went from Barquisimeto to ESPN. It was crazy, but that's what it takes, because a lot of people play lip service to representation. But they don't really embody it, embrace it, and it doesn't reflect what you truly are on the product side, on the production side. I'm unapologetically Latino 100% of the time, siempre Latino, and 100% immigrant. And I think a lot of people identify with that because the U.S. is a country of immigrants. And we all have a story. Listen, you could be white and be multicultural and be a multi-ethnic, Irish American, French American, you name it. So multiculturalism is what the U.S. is all about. And the more we talk about how we like to think how different we are, the more the same we are, where we come from, our origin stories, things we've overcome. And that's what Xizzle TV is all about. Yes, we're going to show you the Disney Report. We're going to show you the Universal Studio. We're going to interview Elena Cardone. We're going to show Grant Cardone. But it's from a place where, multi-ethnicity is celebrated. Our Latino culture is celebrated. I've done a lot of African-American and actually African reports on Afro-Latinos and African women doing amazing things. And training African women to be in the tech space. So you name it, we cover it. We love telling stories, brown and black stories, and multi-ethnic and multicultural stories. And we love shining, the spotlight on those people who are doing amazing things, their companies, what their companies stand for. Not only are they their products are amazing, their why is amazing, and what they're doing is amazing. Like you're a strong black man doing your thing. You have your podcast, and your story is amazing. And you've overcome prejudice, racism, you name it. You've overcome it. And it's important for people on the other side viewing it to see that, to see themselves reflected in what you've done, to see you as an inspiration, Rick, as motivation. Xizzle as well. A lot of Filipino immigrants here as well who have overcome the same kind of obstacles that I've overcome, that Rick has overcome. So the more we think we're different, hey, time out. We're more alike than you think. So that's what caused me to it's a passion that I have to tell our stories and do it genuinely and do it right.
Wow. That's a really great encapsulation, Kirk. What are some of your favorite projects, favorite businesses that you've covered, or businesses that have really left an impression on you?
Well, as a first-time entrepreneur, long-time TV guy, I got to work with the Grant Cardone Foundation, and they let me put a long, 18-minute rip of his 10X conference. And that's one thing that really, was a big milestone for me, because I want to elevate, inspire, everyone. Doesn't matter what your socioeconomic background is, right? So not many people have access to a 10X conference. Grant Cardone is one of the biggest marketing minds, salesman in the country, billionaire. And I got to interview his wife, Elena Cardone, who talked about empowering women of all races and colors. And that was amazing. I got her to speak Spanish on the air, which was awesome. And people love that episode. And then I followed that up with the Grant Cardone. And so if you go to Xizzle TV, that's Xizzle with an X on Roku and Amazon Fire, you'll be able to see the Grant Cardone report and get an 18-minute extended look at his 10X speech, his introductory speech that he talks about mindset and overcoming and thinking big. And it's a way to expose someone who maybe doesn't have the socioeconomic background to be exposed to that kind of messaging and mindset and see someone who's been there and done that, because Grant and Elena came from nothing as well. Someone who's been there and done that and is, elevating people himself. So it was great that they allowed me on my platform to put an extended long rip of his opening speech of his 10X conference. So that was a big one for me. Because that's my way of elevating, Latino, Black, and Brown, and immigrants and any socioeconomic background. And most recently, I met a African woman who migrated to Canada, and she's training African women to be, digital assistants and be in the tech space. She trains them for free and then provides them job opportunities, and that's amazing. So I got to interview her and tell her story. And, she's an inspiration as well. And through, our mediums now, we can interview people from anywhere. So she's an African woman in Canada. I'm a Venezuelan immigrant in Miami, and we were able to connect on a multicultural level. But I was also able to, and with my writing and my style and my network, sensibilities, give her a strong intro. I start every Xizzle TV episode. There's no Xizzle TV show. There's no Kirk Gimenez show. It's a standalone episode that you get when you're on Xizzle TV. And so I like to think of myself as the Netflix of marketing and branding, where you're going to launch Xizzle TV, and there's going to be a bunch of stuff that you can. There's no show. There's no podcast. Each individual interview is its own standalone show. You can hop around and see other things like Disney, previewing Disney's Star Wars Hotel was one of my favorite and one of my most popular episodes. But again, it's not about me. It's about, Disney and you getting to see what that immersive hotel is like. Maybe you can't afford to go. You can dream to go and really see an in-depth report on what it's like. Because it's really expensive. But, that's what Xizzle TV is all about. It's about providing access and in a safe multicultural space, so people could see themselves reflected. They could see the Black faces, female faces, brown faces, Latino faces. I've done some in Spanish as well, being bilingual, and I've done interviews in Venezuela, my native land. And then Puerto Rico, we did one in Spanglish, because every Puerto Rican speaks Spanglish, man. I mean, it's just, I don't think I don't think they can make it through a sentence in Spanish without saying something in English. So we just did it full Spanglish. And that's what Xizzle TV is all about, right? We're about being unapologetically 200 percenters. And like Rick is 100% black and whatever his heritage is, I'm sure he feels, and he's 100% American. He's a 200 percenter. And we celebrate that, and we love to talk to people, and even my Disney reports, I'll drop some Spanglish in my Disney reports because I'm Latino, and I end every interview with a besito, because that's what we do. We kiss, we smooch, and we connect, and and we have fun. Like the Elena Cardone, I told you I got to speak Spanish. I got her to speak Spanish, and I don't know if it's family friendly, but she said like a bad word in Spanish and then it was kind of funny, so we laughed. But then at the end, after we recorded, she's like, "Man, thank you so much. You made me feel so warm and welcoming and welcomed." Even in the digital space, it was so much fun to talk to you, and I felt so open talking to you and telling you that I've been taking Spanish the last 2 years and trying to learn Spanish and trying to connect to that culture. So that's what it's all about, and I just have a passion for it. It's so much fun. I'm having so much fun doing it. It's a lot of work, like as Rick and Hazel know. It's not easy creating high quality product, but I another thing I take pride in is I give every interviewee a sizzle reel. A sizzle reel in TV is a quick 15 to 20 second explainer of what your business is and who you are. So I do that with my network anchor experience. I tell the people why the business or the report is so good, or what the the who, what, where, when, and why it's amazing, where you can find it. And I help people with their marketing and branding all within 20 seconds. I can humbly say, yes, I'm good on camera, but I'm an even better writer. I know it's impossible to think that I'm even better writer than I am on camera, but I am. I'm a great writer, so in 20 seconds, I can tell an amazing story about any business, any person, and then I welcome them in, with editing, music, writing, my network voice, and then welcome in the interviewee, and we have fun talking about their business, what their product is, what their offer is. Elena Cardone gave away a free copy of her book on my episode. So I love giving away free stuff. So if you're out there and listening to this, you want to give away free stuff, come on. I'll help you with your marketing and branding. You'll be on Xizzle TV, but you got to give the viewing public something back and give something away. Because that's what elevating and motivating is all about, right?
Talk to us about some of the let's just say talk to us about your experience. Just getting off the ground and starting to get the resources and people around you that you needed, and that sort of thing.
Well, listen, it takes a certain level of we like to say cojones, guts, to launch your own thing and do your own thing. But if you have that why, if you have that vision, you're not going to stop. You're not going to take no for an answer. Try telling people that you're going to launch a smart TV network for Latinos in English. People thought I was crazy. I said, you know what? It's easier just to create the darn thing. So I just created it, cashed in my 401k. Don't do that. I'm told that was a big mistake. No. So I invested my own money in it. So sometimes that's what it takes, right? If everyone's telling you no and all doors are being shut in your face, like when I first tried to get on camera back in the mid 90s, because I was too Hispanic, tons of doors were closed in my face, and I just didn't give up. So in this case, no one knew what I was going to build. No one understood it. It was too, I guess, an ethereal of a concept. Smart TV was, 2 years ago when I decided to have to do it. It's still an enigma. It still very much is for a lot of business folk, and so I decided to do it on my own. I will tell you this much: everyone tells me that you should not use your own money, but I did. What can you do? Sometimes you believe in something so much, you'll bleed for it. So I use my own money. I will recommend this to people. Reach out to the SBA, SBDC, write that down, SBA, SBDC. I did get a lot of free advice, business planning, all that stuff. But at the end, I used my own money to launch it. Just do your due diligence, have your vision, and do something that you do have a passion in. For instance, I'm not a mechanic, so I'm not going to say, just because I like cars, I'm going to open a mechanic shop. I can I know how to change a battery, but that's about it. I'm not going to open up a mechanic shop. I know how to make TV. I had a passion for it. So I was like, you know what? Let me do it on my own. I have a vision. I have a niche. I am the niche. I am an expert at it. Let me go ahead and do it. So it's knowing that, okay, you may like something. Is it a hobby or is it a business? Are you going to be a full-time entrepreneur? And now it's opening a lot of other doors and partnerships and sponsorships. Sponsorship opportunities are available. But it's having that entrepreneur mindset and learning that. Because listen, for a journalist, and I don't know for a lot of other people out there, I don't know what you do for a living normally now. I don't know what your day job is right now if you're looking at this. But for us journalists, we're the fourth check on government, right? We're supposed to inform the public, give freely our knowledge and our information, and disseminate that information. So I did not have an entrepreneurial mindset. I had a mindset of a giver and a provider and an informer and a journalist. So I've had to learn that entrepreneurial spirit from people like a Grant Cardone, like an Omar Peru, like Bert Olivas, who are motivational speakers and entrepreneurs themselves, and try to educate myself on that entrepreneurial mindset, because it is, and it's a real thing, and it's a real. It opens up your mind and your world as to how you think, how you view things, and how you're going to run your business, not just as a hobby. So if I can do that to elevate everyone here, it's that. It's realize who you are, what your story is, what your voice is, what your strengths are. I am not a businessman. I'm not. That is my weakness. I'm a TV guy. That is my business, but I'm not a businessman. So it's having clarity in your mission and your why. If you're in business right now and you don't have clarity in your mission, start rethinking things. Go back to the drawing board. Start thinking about what your real mission is. Get that clarity. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs who are miserable. They have no clarity, and I'm still pre-revenue, right? But I feel like an immense success because I have clarity and vision and mission. I know exactly who I am, what I want to do, who I want to reach. So clarity is a big one. If you have clarity, it'll help with everything else. If you're an entrepreneur right now, if you're doing your business, maybe it's I got all that before I launched Xizzle TV. I had the idea and I had the clarity. I was lucky. I had the clarity, and it was like an epiphany. It was an epiphany of what I want to do, how I wanted to do it, why I wanted to do it. So have that clarity. And if you don't have it right now, ask yourself, be honest with you. Do I have it? Do I have that clarity that Kirk is talking about? Or am I blowing smoke up my own, what? And be honest and self-reflective. And if you don't have that clarity, start working on it. Start, go to Xizzle TV, watch that. And I'm not trying to get you to download the app, but it is free on Roku and Amazon Fire. But look at that Grant Cardone report.
Yeah.
Listen to his 18-minute speech. And maybe it'll help you start finding that clarity, help you on that mindset of what your mission really is. Because for me, it's not about making money. Hopefully the money will come, but it's not. And that entrepreneurial mindset has to kick in and say, ultimately, eventually it is about money. And I had to learn that it's not bad to make money doing something you love. Right. I luckily I've had a great career doing it. Worked for ESPN, which is Disney. Worked for Major League Baseball, the New York Mets. And if you're a Mets fan, you know who I am. But it wasn't until now that I'm in it on my own. That I'm on my own. That I'm out on an island, and floating out there. But at least I have that clarity. I know that, yes, I'm out on an island. I'm out here by myself, but I know I am out on that island. I'm going to spend some time on that island until I build my bridge back to the mainland, and back to, making money. But I had to learn that mindset that it's not a bad thing to make money, helping people and elevating people and doing something you love. And that entrepreneurial mindset has led me to elevating people in terms of, coaching them and giving them tips on how to be a better presenter, how to be better on camera. And those are tips I've given to executives, influencers, TikTokers, social media, podcast hosts. You can always improve your delivery. I've been doing this for 30 years, and there's certain things that I do that I can teach someone within 3 hours. After actually within 1 hour, within 45 minutes, I'll give them tips on how to really elevate their delivery, their performance, their authoritative voice, and become better on camera, become better on Zooms, become better on Google Meets. And my mentors have told me, this is a skill set you have. This is something amazing that you do that you take for granted. You've been teaching your interns for 30 years. And my interns have gone on to be amazing, reporters, anchors, etc. And this is something that you could teach to people. So that entrepreneurial spirit has led me to, yes, I'm going to develop an entrepreneurial coaching, public speaking class. Because even people that I've taught at Toastmasters, I've had friends who speak at Toastmasters. I spend 45 minutes with them. And they're like, this is beyond Toastmaster. These are practical things that you've been able to harness and work on, and that anyone can work on to become better at public speaking, become a more authoritative voice. And they're practical things that you can practice every day. And some will get it faster than others. But it's helped public speakers, it's helped speech writers, and it's helped business executives, because, like it or not, everyone's watching at all times. If you're a business executive, you're doing business to business videos, you're doing business to consumer videos, you're doing social media, and you may not think that you are great on camera, but that's something you can work on and improve. And that's with anything in the entrepreneurial spirit, right? Right now, I'm working on how to be a better businessman. I'm educating myself. I'm constantly going to classes, networks, online courses, Zooms about the metaverse, Zooms about how to improve and change your business plan and learn how to grow that business plan. So it's a constant level of growth, right? So you're always growing, you're always improving. And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if you think you're a great public speaker or not. There are ways that you can improve. There are things that you can do that you can even become that much better. And it doesn't matter what phase you are in your life. There's chance to reflect, look in the mirror, say, okay, here are my weaknesses.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack them with everything I got, and I'm going to turn that weakness into a strength. Or I'm going to improve on that. Let me improve on this and this. And that's why I think online courses and Zooms and everything are so amazing. And in that entrepreneurial spirit, I will tell this, and this is what I tell everyone in Zooms, because I've met with so many marketing people, and I've kind of become a pseudo mini marketing expert, is always be branding, right? I'm not doing that right now because I'm at a secondary studio because I wanted to talk to you guys, but always have your logo behind you. It's off to the side of me, but my Xizzle TV logo is usually everywhere, right? So if you're on a Zoom, if you're on a podcast, no matter where you are, make sure you have that branding behind you. And let me tell you, everyone who's been on a Zoom with me, I've been on any virtual meeting, my brand is always behind me. And as I'm saying that, I'm looking behind me, I'm like, Kirk, your brand is not behind you. So who dropped the ball today? Yeah, this guy. So don't be me in this podcast, in the Epiphany podcast. Have that brand behind you. Have that branding behind you everywhere you go. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Have that brand because people are going to remember you, especially if you're in sales, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Have your logo, have that brand behind you, and make sure you own your logo. Don't get caught with your pants down. If you've created a logo that's on one of those logo platforms, guess what? That platform owns your logo. You do not have the right to that logo, and that's something to think about. I know it's a headache, but there's so many things that can fall through the crack when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a solopreneur. Yeah. And let me tell you, I'm a solopreneur. And I have to, you have to forgive yourself that, I've been, you've had rough days. I've had those rough days, just like everyone else, thinking, what the heck did I just get myself into, Kirk? Lord Almighty. But, you get back on the horse, you start doing it. Yeah, things are going to fall through the crack. Yes, I'm 6'3" and I have immense hands, giant. But even me with these enormous hands, things are going to fall through the crack. Things fall through the crack all the time. Am I going to continue beating myself over the head because something fell through the crack? No, because then I'm going to break down, and then my business is going to hurt. So I can't break down. So what did I learn? I learned my last name is Gimenez. It's Gimen, easy, and that's how I live my life. I take it easy. And by the way, any Latino can do that. Perez can do that. Rodriguez can do that. Melendez can do that. Make it your own. If your last name ends in EZ, take it easy, and just don't beat yourself over the head because you've made mistakes. It's not going to be the first time. It's not going to be the last time you've made a mistake. You're going to make more mistakes. Just don't keep beating yourself upside the head over it because you've made those mistakes. It's okay, especially if you're a solopreneur. I'm talking to you solopreneurs out there like me. It ain't easy. But take it easy. If you want to be on, just go to Xizzle TV. That's Xizzle.tv. Shoot me an email. You can go to the website, apply through there, or just shoot me an email. It's Kirk, KIRK, at Xizzle.tv. That email again is Kirk. Xizzle.tv. Don't give me my best network anchor voice, and then I made myself laugh. But what can you do?
That's awesome.
No,
That's
it's
awesome.
I love telling any brown, black story, white story. If you have a mission, if you have a clear vision of what you're doing, of who you're doing, who you're doing it for, and who you represent, I would love to tell your story. There is a cost involved, but because like I said, I'm learning to be an entrepreneur, and I gotta eat. But I'm always working to negotiate because I walk the walk and talk the talk. If the story deserves to be told, I want to tell it, and I can work with any budget and negotiate and really work with you because listen, man, the regular media doesn't care. I've been in those newsrooms. They don't care about brown and black. They don't care about the uplifting, amazing things we're doing. But if we break the law and there's a mugshot, you better be damn straight that they're putting us on the headline news, and we're going to be the lead at 5, 6, and 11 p.m. newscast. And that's another reason why I have clarity in Xizzle TV is I've been in those newsrooms where they just play lip service to representation and they don't tell those uplifting, great stories about local businesses, about medium to small businesses, even about bigger businesses who are doing amazing things, and, minorities who are doing amazing things. They really don't care. And I took it upon myself to start telling those stories and start looking for those stories. Because guess what? I really do care because I am one of you. I'm one of those stories. I'm brown and black. I'm a minority. And listen, women are minorities too. People are like, oh, you're not. Look at the network. The network. Most of my reports are on women because women are minorities. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown. It doesn't matter what color you are. You are a minority. You're a woman, and you're struggling to bridge that gap wealth. There is a gap wealth for black, for brown, for women. Facts. I don't know if you've realized this, but it exists. And now it takes people like Rick, people like Hazel, people like me, to start working and building, and working on bridging that gap wealth and shortening it. And if not, building the actual bridge. And in my mind's eye, I see Xizzle as an actual bridge. And
awesome.
Not everyone is going to get that kind of that kind of media attention, right? So that's why I want positive media attention for our people, for all sorts of people. And I think there's a counterculture and a counter programming in that because that journalist mentality is if it bleeds, it leads. That's what every journalist gets taught. What does that mean? If the more blood, the higher in the newscast it's going to go, right? So it speaks to a really negative, violent mindset, right? And I think we as Americans and as humans, we're just tired of that. We want something else to watch. Listen, I stopped watching the news, and the more and more people I reach and talk to, they stopped watching the news because they don't change. It's the same thing over and over again. So it's a counter programming. It's positive. It's uplifting. I like to tell clients, listen, I am an extension of your marketing and branding. Your marketing and your branding, your brand is safe in my hands. I know how important that brand is, and I'm going to uplift it. I'm going to write the best copy for it. I'm going to deliver the best voiceover for it. And then I'm going to give you the best interview for it. And the cool thing is, since I don't have a show, I don't have a podcast, and it's not the Kirk Gimenez show, and it's not the Xizzle TV show, I can syndicate that content. And with a thumbnail and the headline, it gets pushed out to 300 digital media outlets. I've had stories trending on MSN.com. It gets pushed out to the Grio, a Black app. It gets pushed out to Viva TV, a Hispanic app, Hero Go, Binge Networks, and a couple of other apps. So it's huge distribution. And why? Because I'm making content. I don't create a show. I don't create a podcast. I'm creating, content the way people are ingesting it nowadays. And that is random, scrolling up and down their phones, on Netflix, clicking left and right, looking for whatever they want. So I make that unapologetically like that on Xizzle TV. You're going to hop on there, and then sometimes there's no rhyme and reason. It's just a bunch of hodgepodge of stuff, collections of stuff. Yeah, that's what it's for. It's to help you click around, say, oh, I like that. I want to watch that. 20 seconds in, whatever. Let's move on to the next thing. And that's fine, because that's how we all watch TV nowadays, right? So I'm very humble. I don't expect anyone to watch the whole thing. But if they're only going to watch it for the 30 seconds, they're going to get those best 30 seconds right off the bat. I'm going to punch you in the face with great marketing and branding, with great video, music, with great production, with great voiceover, with great energy. And then if you still like it and you're liking what the product is about or the report is about, you're going to finish and watch, and you're going to finish and watch the interview or finish and watch the rest of the report. And if you don't, that's fine too. Go out and watch something else that will motivate you, inspire you, or entertain you. Or if you're a huge Disney fan, I have lots of Disney reports on there as well. Universal Studios as well. So anything that you want to watch, and that's the ultimate goal.
Thanks for watching another episode of Epiphany Off the Cuff. Please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next episode is going to drop. Don't forget, we're on podcasts as well, so you can catch us on your favorite podcasting platforms. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Epiphany Off the Cuff.